Hey, what's up? Good morning, everyone. Hope you're having an incredible day. Excited to hang out with you guys today here in the 5-day Mindset Makeover group. I know we got lots of people who are working, lots of people who are maybe getting the kids to school. So if you can and you hop online with me, make sure and say hello. Of course, if you can't, this is being recorded for everyone, but I am going to give you guys a second to kind of make sure I got my light adjusted the way that I want it. Give you guys a second to hop on with me live. I know I got on here a couple minutes late, so I'm going to give you guys a chance. Jennifer Kirk is here. What's happening? Hi, Tanya. What's going on? Hope you guys are excited to get a 5-day mindset makeover before we jump into the art of recruiting, where I am going to rock your freaking world for 4 weeks. Andrea, hello, how are you? What's going on? Hope you guys are having a wonderful morning. I just got done crushing my workout, and hi, Connie. I just got done crushing my workout and then basically guzzling a protein shake like as fast as I've ever done in my life. Brooke, what's happening? You're beyond ready to have your world shake. Good, because that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do starting today. Today is just going to be like a little bit of kind of like an intro. Hey, what's up, Judy from Texas? Today's going to be a little bit of a, just like a taste of what you guys are going to get starting next Monday in the art of recruiting. But the art of recruiting is going to go to a whole nother level, so I hope you're ready. I'm going to adjust my lighting just a little bit. I don't like the way it's hitting my face. I'm not crazy about that. Back it off a little bit, see if that helps. I think that's maybe a little bit better. Sometimes my Diva light's a little bit harsh on my face. So, here's the thing. Every single day for 5 days, basically Monday through Friday, if you didn't figure that out, we are going to be going live for about 15 to 20 minutes. And then we'll have some type of a homework assignment. Now, I am technically recording this for an upcoming thing that I'm going to be doing. For those of you that haven't heard, I have a brand new app that's going to launch here in a couple of months. And all you'll have to do, yes, it is a Diva light, because I am a diva. Here in a couple months, I'll have a brand new app. And basically what you'll do is you will log into the app, and any of my trainings that you have paid for, you will get instant access to in the app. All of the training videos, all of the files and resources, the daily tracker / calendars, all of that stuff's going to be hosted right within my app. We're going to be calling it your Push Coach app. So what I'm doing is recording this so that when people get my access to my app here in a couple months, this will be kind of like the first thing that everyone gets access to, okay? So I thought this would be like a really, really cool bonus thing for everyone who signed up for the Art of Recruiting this month, because I don't start my groups until the first Monday of each month, which makes it really weird when a new month starts on a Tuesday, because then basically we're not really starting our group until, like, what does that make it, like the 6th of the month, something like that. So there's always like this kind of like dead week where it's like, okay, we want to help people, we want to inspire people, but we've got kind of like this dead week. So I decided, instead of just having a dead week, let's do something for everyone who signed up for the Art of Recruiting to give you some type of access right away. So you're not waiting like a week and a half. Let's do something awesome together that's going to get your mindset ready for the Art of Recruiting. So with that said, I'm going to go into what I call recording mode, okay? So even though this is live in the Facebook group, because these are videos that we're going to use in the future, I'm going to kind of put on my recording hat, and I won't be necessarily chatting back and forth with you guys once I go into recording mode, okay? So basically, you're more than welcome to sit and kind of comment back and forth. I mean, that honestly helps me to see some type of interaction. But if I'm not interacting back with you, it's not because I'm being rude. It's because this is technically being recorded for future groups. Does that make sense? You guys still love me if I don't interact back and forth with you while I record this video? Is that okay? So, I have to put on my recording hat, which means I have to pretend I have to pretend that I can't, well, I actually have to kind of pretend that I can mess up because that's just my thing. I mess up all the time. So when I'm in a recording mode, I just pretend it's okay to mess up because people expect that from me and it's totally cool. If it's too scripted, then it's no fun, right? Okay, good deal. So let's hop into it. Welcome to the 5-day mindset makeover. My name is Josh. I'm your push coach, and I am so excited to get to spend the next 5 days with you and beyond. Whether you signed up for the Art of Recruiting, whether you're doing my Push Life community, or whether you just got in here because you wanted to get free access to the app and just see what this was all about. I am so excited to have you and to have 5 days to work with you on your mindset. One of the most famous quotes ever says, whether you think you can or think you can't, you are right. Now, I know it's a little cheesy and cliche, and we've probably all heard that like a million times. Our parents probably said it to us, or maybe a teacher or a coach said it to you. But it is one of the most true statements I have ever heard. Whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you are right. In fact, my kids ask me about this sometimes. They're like, well, just because you think you can't doesn't mean you can't. I mean, maybe you actually could. And that's the whole point, is that maybe you actually could, but because you think up here that you can't, you have convinced yourself that there's no reason to put in the work, there's no reason to put in the energy, and there's no reason to put in the effort. So guess what happens? You never actually do it. Now, technically, you are capable of doing it, but you had convinced yourself up here that you couldn't, and so you never even try. And then my 10-year-old, because he's a little bit of a smart aleck, says, yeah, but just because you think you can doesn't mean you actually can, Dad. And that's exactly how he talks. He's a quirky little guy. And I said, no, I realize that, Kate. And I realize that just because we think we can fly doesn't mean we can like grow wings and fly. But then again, we did create airplanes. We did find a way to fly because someone said, I can do that, because someone was willing to think, you know what, I bet we could go to outer space. Someone figured out a way to do it. See, we have infinite potential living on the inside of us. And I love the way Zig Ziglar, who is kind of one of the fathers of personal development and positive thinking, I love the way he says it. He says, positive thinking won't help you do anything you can't, but it will help you do everything you can. Let me say that again. Positive thinking isn't going to help you do anything you can't do, but it will help you do everything you can do. I'm not for a second pretending that positive thinking is going to allow me to grow wings and fly or fly around on a unicorn in a fairyland. But here's the thing. Everything that I am capable of doing, I will only ever do if I decide up here that I have the power to do it, because that's what gives me the ability to make the free choice. I believe we all have free will, and we can make the choice to do something incredible today towards growing towards our dreams. And if we think we can, guess what happens? We'll wake up early or stay up late. I'm more of a stay up late kind of a guy. We will skip out on Netflix. We will sacrifice things in our life in order to reach toward that goal. And if we think we can't, we'll sleep in or go to bed early, whichever one is your jam. We'll watch 8 hours of Netflix a day. We'll goof around and never ever put in any type of action towards actually getting what we want. So whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. So I want to help you this week, these 5 days. I don't know why I just did jazz fingers, but that was fun. I want to help you to decide up here that you can and put in the work and energy and effort it takes so that as you move into my Art of Recruiting or the Art of Leading or the Push Life, you've got this ready to go. And as I start giving you homework assignments that challenge you in your business to start talking to new people, to start posting with vulnerability, to start doing some of the things that have been scaring the crap out of you, you at least have this locked in, ready to go. You're ready to put in the work. You're ready to put in the energy. You're ready to put in the effort, and we start to see the results. So I'm going to walk you through 5 things that I think are absolutely musts up here. These are must-haves in your mindset, okay? And number one, day one, we're going to start off with something that is kind of my specific philosophy. As personal development, motivational speakers, most of us are repeating things that we have heard and putting our own twist on it, putting our own story on it, and that's okay. I mean, that's just what all training is. If you think about every book that's ever been written, it's something that was inspired by something we read. If you think about every song you've ever heard was someone who was inspired by some other song. But this is one thing that I'm very, very, I don't want to use the word proud, but I am. I'm very, very proud of this because this is my specific philosophy on how I train people in one-on-one environments, how I train people in my mastermind groups, how I train people in my training groups like The Art of Recruiting. This word that I'm about to teach you today is something that has changed my life, has changed the lives of thousands of people in my training groups, and I believe is about to change your life. So I want you to write this word down in all caps, underline it, exclamation marks, highlight it in 7 colors. That's how I take my notes personally. Maybe you don't, that's okay. I want you to write this word down. It is about to change your life forever. The word is urgency. Urgency. Write it, all caps, U-R-G-E-N-C-Y. Write it, put exclamation points, underline it. It's going to change your life forever. And about 2014, is when I started my business, beginning of 2014. I joined up on the John Maxwell team. I had no idea what I was doing. I just knew that I needed change. I knew that I wanted something different. The same reason many of you signed up for the business you're doing. I wanted something different out of life. I've been detailing cars for 9.5 years, playing in rock bands on the weekends, and life just was not going where I wanted it to go. I loved playing music. I was very passionate about it, but unfortunately wasn't making any money doing it. Was spending a lot of time away from home, not to really get anything from it. So when I signed up for the John Maxwell team, I was desperate. I was hardly paying the bills. We almost lost our house, almost lost our car a couple times, almost got evicted out of apartments a couple times. I was desperate for change, and I had just fallen in love with personal development. And as I went along with the John Maxwell team and I made the decision to try to make this into a full-time business, guys, I fell on my face over and over and over. In fact, my first year in business, I signed 2 clients and made $500 in the entire first year. I was probably the last person in the world John Maxwell wanted to be associated with. But in year 2, I did something crazy. First of all, I went from trying to grow my business in person to growing it on social media. But second of all, I got out a calendar. I had like a big, huge calendar where I could have space to write everything I wanted to write. I wanted to be able to see. I'm kind of a visionary. I wanted to put it up on a wall and I wanted to see it. And I said, okay, the only way this is ever really going to happen is if we start setting some just crazy goals that just force me into action. I said, what do we want to do this month? And I said, okay, this month, I'm going to sign 10 new clients. Now, for someone who has 2 clients, to say you're going to sign 10 clients is kind of crazy, right? But I didn't care. I wrote it in the top right corner. I wrote 10. I'm not left-handed. I'm right-handed. I wrote 10. And then I looked at each week and I said, okay, if I'm going to make 10 happen, there's 4 weeks. I got to do 2, 2, 3, 3. I got to sign 2 clients 2 of the weeks, 3 clients 2 of the weeks, and I wrote those numbers down at the end of each week. And this is what happened when I did this. Number 1, setting a monthly goal that scared the crap out of me was a good start to it. But then breaking it down into weekly goals really took me to a higher level because now I said, if I want to sign 3 clients this week, that means I got to have, 6 or 7 phone calls. And if I'm going to have 6 or 7 phone calls, I got to message 40 or 50 people this week. And guess what happened? By creating this urgency of saying I have to complete a lot in a little time, it forced me to focus on doing the right things every single day. And not just doing the right things for 2 or 3 minutes a day, but doing the right things for the majority of my business hours, day after day after day. And guess what I did? I hit that goal. I signed 10 new clients in 1 month. I went on to sign probably 35 or 40 new clients in 2 or 3 months. I don't know if any life coach with 0 following and 0 name and 0 influence has ever done that, but it's simply the thing I knew I needed to do to keep myself focused. Fast forward to 2016. I've now trained at this time, the beginning of 2016, I probably trained a couple thousand people, had spoke for several thousands of people. The momentum that I had got by signing all of these clients, specifically people in the multi-level marketing world, had led to me speaking on their team calls, had led to me traveling around the country to speak at company events. And now all of a sudden, the beginning of 2016, I'm sitting around and I'm thinking to myself, why is it that of the several thousand people I've spoke for and trained, there really is a very small percent that has got incredible results? I'm talking incredible results. I've helped a couple people in their company go top 10 in their company. I've helped another person go double superstar, which in her company only 6 people have ever done. I've helped tons of people go into the top 2% of their company at the end of the year when they're pushing for goals. I've helped people go from recruiting basically 1 to 2 people a month to recruiting 10 to 15 people a month. I've helped all these people do these things, but then I have this other like 90-ish% of people that have never really done anything with my trainings. Never really got any results. And now I understand there's this 80-20 rule that says 20% of people give you 80% of your results because 80% of the people just don't want to do what it takes. But I wasn't okay with that answer. I wasn't okay with just, okay, 80 to 90% of people are just going to fail. I said, what is it specifically? If I could just dial into the specifics of why these people succeed, like what is it? Do these people have anything in common? If I could just dissect that and get the answer for that, maybe I could have a formula that could change the world. And as I thought about it, I realized the people who got extreme results with me were the people who hired me with extreme urgency. In other words, they came to me and they said, Josh, I have this goal that I need to hit, and I've only got this much time to make it happen. Can you help? And I told them the same thing every single time. I said, absolutely I can. As long as you are ready to drink a lot of coffee and not get very much sleep, we can 100% help you hit that goal. And I helped tons of people to do that. But here's the thing that I didn't do. I never took, see, these people were coming to me. They already had the urgency. I didn't have to teach it to them. And I never became really consciously aware of the fact that until this moment, that's why these people were getting such incredible results. Because everyone else came to me and they're like, hey, we want to work with you. We want to grow. We want to get better. We want to eventually rank advance. We want to eventually make more money. But there was no urgency to it. And what I have found is that where there is no urgency, there is no focus, there is no creativity, and there is no ownership. I want you to write those 3 words down. When you have urgency on your side, 1, you will be focused. 2, you'll be incredibly creative. And 3, you will take ownership. Because you ain't got time to blame no one else. You ain't got time to do nothing but show up, put in the work, and get results. So the beginning of 2016, I said, oh my gosh, I can't believe this has been in front of me the whole time. I did it in my own business in year 2, and I never took the time to teach that to other people. So what I started doing, the beginning of 2016, was teaching this thing called urgency. And I forced people not just to set yearly goals, not just to set quarterly goals, but more important, I forced people to set monthly goals, followed up by weekly goals. Let me say that again. The most important part of this urgency process is that you set monthly goals, followed up by weekly goals. Many of you in your companies have monthly goals, and for a lot of you, the company sets kind of like a specific goal that they want you to hit every single month. The problem I have found with that is most of you don't show up until about the 27th or 28th of the month because subconsciously you know you can make that goal happen in 3 or 4 days. So guess what you do for the first 26, 27 days of the month? Nothing. There's no focus, there's no creativity, there's no ownership. And yet somehow at the end of the month you find a way to pull it out, or some of you never do. So the first thing that I'm going to challenge you to do in this 5-day mindset group, and this is a little bit different, okay? Over the next couple of days, we're going to be talking about some more like classic mindset things, if you will. But if you don't get this, guys, if you don't get this, it's going to be very, very tough for you to go anywhere in your business. All successful people live with a state of urgency. Tim Ferriss says it this way. I love this quote. He says, the opposite of happiness is not sadness, it is boredom. The opposite of happiness is not sadness, it is boredom. When your goal is not big enough, guess what you don't have to do? You don't have to grow. You don't have to be passionate. You don't have to be excited. You just exist. And for so many of you in your businesses, that's all you're doing is you are existing. And the second we come up with this crazy urgent goal, last month I did something crazy in all of my groups. I did a 30-day challenge where we did 2 hours of personal development, affirmations 3 times a day instead of 1 time a day. And then for those of us that are kind of in the health and fitness world, we decided to be 100% on our workouts and our nutrition. I'm personally not in the fitness world, but it is a part of my life that I live every single day. And guess what it did? It lit me on fire because I had this crazy challenge that just was like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? When you start to think, how am I going to do this? You know you've set a good goal. You know you have set a goal, and that is why I wear right here on my wrist. What does it say? It says, let's puke together. This is my hashtag. If you go look me up on Instagram, look up on the hashtag Let's Puke Together, and you'll see me, people from webinars, people from training groups posting using this hashtag, because the whole point of this hashtag is that if you aren't doing something that challenges you, if you're not doing something that scares you and makes you want to puke, you aren't doing anything that's going to force you to learn and grow and go to a higher level. You see, I've said since my very first presentation that our outward success is really an expression of our inward growth. So the whole point is to set outward goals that are big enough that you have no choice but to grow inwardly to go make those goals happen. And that's the beauty of it, guys. If I can get you to think like this, to think bigger, stop worrying about failing. Failing is nothing. I would rather fail going for 1 million than succeed going for 1,000. How about you? Are you ready to fail with me? Because that's what I do. I teach people. I teach people to go big, to go hard, and we fail big too. In my mastermind group, those that have been with me for 6 months or more, 100% of them have increased their numbers and their income, and for the most part, 2 to 3 times. 2 to 3 times what they were making 6 months ago. And most of them have failed to reach the goals that I have them setting over and over and over. But they failed their way into much bigger numbers, much bigger sales, much bigger recruits, and much higher paychecks. See, this is why people don't want to set big goals, is because they're too afraid to fail. And we'll talk about this in another one of our videos. I'm not going to go too far into this today, but I need you to understand that we fail every single day, whether we set big goals or not. We fail all the time. So if we're gonna fail, why not fail going for something that's actually worth it? Why not fail doing something that excites us and grow in the process? My first challenge for you today, in day 1, when I go. We don't really take things soft in my groups, okay? We go because I want to help you get results. My goal is not to make you feel good. My goal is not for you to say, oh my gosh, Josh, that training was so good. I didn't get any results, but I feel better. That is not my goal. My goal is get you results. You ain't gonna feel better. I'm just gonna promise you that. If you work with me, you won't feel better other than on payday. Other than at the end of the day when you realize, dang, I just killed that day. I'm exhausted, but I feel incredible because I know I'm on the right path to get what I want. So your day 1 challenge is to take your monthly average, whatever your monthly average is in sales and recruits, and to make it your new weekly goal. Whatever your normal sales and recruiting average is for a month, starting today, that's your new weekly goal. And you are going to push for that weekly goal over and over and over and over. If you have to watch this 5-day mindset group over and over and over and over, then do that until you hit it. And then you know what you got to do? You got to bump it up. Day one challenge. Day one challenge. I want to know, what do you average per month? And I want you to turn that into your weekly goal for sales and recruits. Don't cop out on the recruiting part, guys. I run a training called The Art of Recruiting where I've trained thousands of people to become recruiters. And the number one thing about becoming a rock star recruiter is just deciding that that's what you're going to do. Don't you cop out on the recruiting side, okay? Monthly average is now your weekly goal. This is how we create urgency, okay? I can teach it to you all you want, but most of you just felt what urgency feels like. Something in here just tightened up. You feel like you're going to throw up. You're scared out of your mind. You don't know how you'll do it. And that is exactly what I'm looking for. I want to help you to feel that every single day, because when you feel that, it's really tough to get lazy. It's really tough to spend all of your time scrolling the news feed. It's really tough to make excuses about the Facebook algorithm or whatever. You get focused, you get creative, and you take ownership. That's what we do. That's what I'm going to teach you how to do. In the rest of the week, I'm going to teach you some awesome tips about how to keep your mindset in check, because I promise you, if you live with urgency, you are going to have some fears. You are going to have some struggle staying motivated, and I'm going to teach you how to walk through those things in this 5 days to live a life of urgency. Let's puke together, baby. My name is Josh. I'm your push coach, and I will see you in day 2. All right, well, that's the end of recording mode. Thank you guys so much for being here with me. So if you are in this Facebook group, which you are if you're seeing this part, because if not, I edited it out already, right? I want you to post below, whether you're here in my 5-day mindset group or if you are over in my Push Life community. My Push Life community, if you are in the Push Life community, you get free access to any new trainings that I record. So if there's a new series that comes out while you're in the Push Life, you get free access to it. So if you're here in the 5-day mindset group or you're watching this recording over in the Push Life community, want you to comment below. What is your monthly average sales and recruits? So what is your new weekly goal? Then I want you to find a place in the house to write it out real big where you see it every single day. All right? I love you guys. I got to go. I've got another call. I'm actually recording a bonus module for The Art of Recruiting today, which you guys will be getting access to later on Facebook ads. So I love you guys. Comment below with your new weekly goals. I will see you tomorrow in day 2. Love you. Have a good day.